Hey, this is Brad with 4D Tech. Today we're on a Cadillac CT4. We're going to show you how easy it is to pop in one of our start-stop eliminators so that you don't have to hit the button every single time you get in the vehicle. Let's get started. First, we'll start by opening the center console lid if it's not already open. Then we'll grab this panel and we're going to pull this away at the front edge. You can remove the entire panel if you'd like. It's not necessary in this case. So let's get our fingers behind it, give it a pull, and we'll release all the clips that hold it in place far enough back to see the 3 screws on the side that we need to take out. There are 2 7mm screws there, and there's 1 T15 Torx. Next, on the passenger side, we'll do the same thing we did on the driver's side. We'll simply reach underneath this panel wherever we can, pull out the front edge far enough to access the screws we need to. In this case, there are 4 T15s, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, we're going to press and hold the engine start stop button for long enough to get the ignition to turn on without pressing the brake. We can now press the brake and shift the vehicle into neutral, making sure that the parking brake is applied. This will allow us to pull up this trim around the shifter. We'll just get our fingers underneath the edge and pull up. You can get this mat out of the way if you'd like. And what we're doing is we're shifting this back just far enough to see the T15 that's down inside here. Now that that's removed, we can kind of shift this back forward, put this back in park, and turn the ignition off. Now that all the screws are removed, we can pull up on the silver trim panel, bring the back edge up just enough to get our hands underneath to disconnect the electrical connector going to the switch. There's still a couple pop clips, so we'll just simply need to get our hands underneath and pull up. And we can also prop it up if we'd like to get it up out of our way. This will allow us access to the electrical connector right here. On the right hand side, there may be a red tab. That's just a secondary lock. We'll use our fingernail or a tool to just push down on it. It should move about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. If you push too hard on it and it pops all the way out, don't worry about it. It's a secondary lock. It's not necessary. It's overkill. Once that's moved down, we can use our index finger on the right hand side to push in on the release tab and wiggle the connector out. Once that's done, we can simply plug the start-stop eliminator from 4D Tech right in line with that connector, making sure to hear it snap, and we'll push in the secondary lock. And then we can plug the other end back into the switch. We'll tuck the wiring down out of the way so it doesn't get pinched. And now we'll reassemble. Like before, we need to shift the shifter back. We'll replace that 1 T15 that was down in front of the shifter. Put this trim back in place. Now we'll replace the 4 T15 screws we removed from the side earlier. Now that the screws are back in place, we need to put this trim panel back on. We'll want to flex the front edge in first. There's a tab here that needs to go into the mating panel, and this edge needs to go into the groove right here. So once you wiggle that up in place, get all the clips lined up, and pop them in. This side's complete. Now we'll go ahead and put the 3 screws back in this side, reminding you that the 2 7mm ones go towards the front of the vehicle, and the 1 T15 towards the back. Now that the screws are back in place, we need to pop the panel back in, and like the passenger side, we need to get the front edge flexed into place first. Get everything lined up and snap it into place. This side's complete. Now that the install is complete, we'll start the vehicle for the first time. As you can see, by default, it turns the auto start stop system off. If it doesn't the very first time you plug it in, just go ahead and push the button to make sure that the system is disabled. Once you've done that, it will simply remember the auto start stop state every single time you get in the vehicle. So we'll turn the engine off, go ahead and start the vehicle again. You'll see the light flash on for just a second, and then it applies the off state and turns it off. At any point in time, if you'd like to turn it back on, simply press the button and it will remember that state as well. Now you see how easy it is to pop in one of our start-stop eliminators in the Cadillac CT4 and CT5. I'm Brad with 4D Tech. Thanks for checking out our video.